Hello guys. We keep diving into space. Now the lesson is a lamp and a cup holder. At first, I wanted to just record a lamp, but I decided to show you how to make a cup holder. I did all this work using thick resin art deluxe from Resin Pro. You can do a medium one, but you'll need to wait a bit for the processes when we will draw. But I'm not preempting events. Now I'm mixing thick resin on my mold and adding it there. Adding 4 drops of black and such a pinch of tin pigment from Epoxy Master. You can even add more. On this layer, you can make large sequins. Large ones, if you have any beautiful small planets or stars or something shimmering and beautiful, you can make this in the first layer. Our work will not be just in one layer, so keep track of the thickness. Now you will watch the complete lesson and understand everything. Don't bother yourself. Gradually, I'll show you everything. We're making the first layer as shiny as possible, well, black. This is a galaxy, let it dry. I'm needing the second layer. See, I've already put a cup holder for you here. I'm showing you 2 options, a lamp and a cup holder. I also need thick resin. Only now I'm dividing it into 2 cups. One I'll paint purple, the second with reflective glitter, which I bought in a nail shop. You can have small broths. Broths are like beads, but only without holes. You can make them small. At this point, you can add some kind of planets, glitter, rhinestones, sequins, something larger. Make different fractions, not just mother of pearl. You know, we'll clog all the ether and let only one mother of pearl shine. No, I was the first to create small crumbs in the black layer. Here's a little larger. I'll add more broths here. I have them on the right side. I will add more sequins for a bit of depth and texture. Right now I'm mixing up some purple. If you have a pretty purple you like, go ahead and use it. I just didn't have the exact shade I wanted. You know, violet crimson, which is warmer, more raspberry-like. I do have a cooler purple from Epoxy Master and Resin Art Long Crimson. I mixed these 2 colors and added even more. Blue mother of pearl from Epoxy Master. I found something similar, a kind of pearlescent flake in a nail store. Add anything small and shiny you can find. Bring it all home. It will all be useful in your work. Mix it well. Watch carefully as the waiting stage starts now. This isn't something you can do with a very reactive resin, especially not a liquid one. For medium resin, you have to wait. Why am I working on the thicker one? Because the wait time is less. We need to create a cosmic galaxy. To maintain the shape of this galaxy, we must control our resin. So if you know your resin can't hold shape very well, you need to allow it to stand, to wait, and to polymerize. You can do it in a cup or with a bun like this in a mold. Now you will see what I will do next. I'm laying out a fraction different from before, and here are the bulbs. This is also contained in what I bought from the store. I bought it from the shop for it to have stars and depth. So you can gaze upon this creation and it feels like we're falling into it, into the light. What's more, it should illuminate, not only serving as a beautiful object, but also bringing light to us. Now, we're drawing a spiral, which is why I mentioned the resin needs to maintain shape. We must ensure that our puddle forms the shape of an ellipse. It's a bottom here. What I'm holding can be done with a spatula or disposable knife, but I bought these dots to add more depth to each layer. The first goes, then comes the next, creating a snail-like pattern. I repeat the pattern several times, ensuring the purple isn't completely mixed, but instead bleeds into the darkness at the end. The pattern resembles a snail, but it's dark around the edges. After letting it dry, I start mixing the next layer. Today is the 3rd day, but this can be done in a day or 2 days if you pour the first layer in the morning and wait till evening. Pour the second layer and let it rest. This second layer also has a thick resin. This layer is more intriguing as it creates a unique texture. We create a pattern, I carry it. You also remember here with us, we are limited by the thickness of the mold, limited by the thickness of the lamp. When you spill your layers, remember that you have a limited thickness so that you know exactly how much you will fit into your lamp. Believe me, the technique is quite thin. It seems that there are many layers. It will be thick, nothing of the kind. Everything goes in, everything turns out perfectly. So I apply a transparent layer. I do not add any glitter or pearlescent to this layer. Only a transparent layer is clean. I distribute it over my mold. My broth was a bit pot-bellied, so I overlap them also well. The next layer will overlap if you also add some volume. But don't worry, the next layer of galaxy creation will be another finishing layer. Prepare your mind to layer a lot. Now I need two colors. I need milky white, but here you have to be very careful not to mess up the density of the white. That is, you can't make it too diluted. It should be milky and see-through. It should be like a veil, like a mist, so that the bottom layer can still shine through it. And I'll make about 8 grams for the purple and 15 grams for the white pigment. I'll color the purple just like I did in the beginning. It will be art blanc for me, cherry purple from Resin Art, and I will also add some pearl powder. Mix well. Remember, the pigment won't just freeze in the resin, it will become muddy. Here's the white. Look, I have literally 1 drop, and actually that's too much. You can even put in half a drop. It's so concentrated, I was afraid to ruin it. And here in the white, I added 2 pinches of phosphor. You can add even more. It will glow more. It will shine more in the fire or under a lamp. I have a phosphor, and it gives a very, very cool vibe to the lamp and the bonfire too. I pour this puddle into the center. Also here, we're not in a hurry. Here, now there will be a test of the nervous system, a test of calmness, because we will need to create a delicate veiled. Just imagine, how there are even photographs through film like those, like if you are squinting, they are slightly cloudy. Here we need to create this veiled galaxy. Here we need to make this veiled galaxy. Here are the snail-like movements, spiral movements, fast, slow, don't rush. The main thing is that you look, fix it so that the central part is more saturated and the one going towards the purple edge is straight into the turbidity, into the transparent. That is, we should not do it with a brush, anything. Exactly why with the dots? Because there are such, spirals like circles just in the galaxy, these circles. If you look, by the way, get inspired on social networks. In Pinterest, look at the galaxies, what they look like. We need to create this primer is why the resin is thick. It's why we wait so it doesn't run off. That's why we spend about 40 minutes walking side by side, making these snail-like movements to make our circles, our edges at the end of the galaxy as delicate and floaty as possible, and they directly disappear into the violet horizon. But why did we mix bright violet with mother of pearl? You're asking? I'll show you right now. We mixed it and here it waits for its moment, see? Take a toothpick and we'll meticulously draw the veins of the galaxy. By the way, you could choose a different color, not only violet, so you can see the hues of the galaxy and see that it's not only violet red, by the way. I can see that I mixed more of it here. I mixed it here. It turned out to be more crimson than purple with me. There are also lemon. There are turquoise. I decided to make it in one key, not to go into lemon, not to go into the sea. You can make another key. You can add more turquoise, more of the same, even sea wave, and Tiffany, you will get a completely different galaxy. That is, here the scope of your imagination is not limited. The main thing is that you understood the technique, that all the layers, the middle, should be saturated. It should gently, gently disperse into the edge, go into the transparent, go into the substrate that we create, and you thought that's all. No, we take it out a cup, take out gold, pop-up gold from the Reinhardt company for it. Guys, gold also has such meanness if it is not mixed carefully and clearly enough. It will lie down to you and not the turbidity that we need. Now we need it from gold is just a clear line. Here you need to rub it straight. That's how the magician rubs it on some dish so that pops up in gold. Rub it well, because it can spoil the substrate for you on the fire, the same from the middle. I begin to stretch our purple colors with the doctor. Tell me, why did you do this, Nadash, if you rubbed it and it is practically invisible? That's exactly why there should not be very clear drawings in space. There should be tenderness, transitions, ombre, slightly lines, hints of circles. Well, just sharp and clear. There are no lines there. Look, inspire. But again, this vision is yours. You are artists. This is your work, your creation. And now I'm drawing more distinct, thinner lines using a single-use spatula. I am outlining with popping gold. The resin has already set. It's right there. Do what you want with me, Natasha. I will obey. She doesn't even stretch the gold, but I still go through it all. I'm revising it with a dotting tool, so it's not just like these straight lines that you see right now. Look, the clearly drawn veins of the galaxy seem artificial. Well, you have to admit, it looks somewhat cartoonish, unnatural, and I want it to be as if we took a piece of the galaxy. So repetition is the mother of teaching. Take a dotting tool. Start circles. I didn't speed up here. See my slow and steady movements, that is, I slowly mix these colors in a circle. You can even do it that way. I have to say I grind right to the edge and also take these planetary veins with floating gold liquid patal. That is, excuse me, I'm already talking too much. Just like in the cup holder, I carefully and slowly stretch from the middle all these patterns. It's already turning out differently. Don't rush to leave. We remove the bubbles and if necessary, repeat again. Keep observing and controlling. The layer has dried, now you can take it out of the mold. I always sand before applying the finish. I use sandpaper to sand it. By the way, I have a P320, it's soft enough. I remove excess shine for better grip next time. For an excellent finish and no issues for you, the resin needs to gain viscosity. Pour it in the middle, don't save. Saving is a real trouble for the resin, and yet stretch with a bun. Stretch it carefully to the end. Don't scratch just right on the surface and take another drop right along the end. Stretch that drop so that the resin shrinks to the center when it dries. All the resin always congeals to the middle, has not exposed your ends, and it can expose them only because you have skimped on resin, which should not be done when finishing the job. There should be a blanket of the stuff. Spread it around properly, and also don't remove the air bubbles right away. I advise you to remove them in about 5 to 8 minutes, because if we heat up the resin we have just poured straight away, it will spread out as if to say, well, that's it, I'm relaxed, I'll just spread out to the ends. Don't do this. Carefully apply the resin, wait a bit, and then remove the bubbles, and ta-da! I didn't even expect such a cool effect. It still glows, and not just because I'm shining a light on it, but also all the sequins and glitter we heaped onto it. I'd like to make the fractions even larger, make them bigger, coarser, and the phosphor glows too. I kept trying to take pictures of it using lamps, but of course the camera can't even capture 1% of it. Show me your experiments.